Alrighty, awesome. We are live. Welcome, 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 everybody. We're streaming here on Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, I believe Telegram as well, and some of the other platforms. So, welcome to another day of our Divinfi overview. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sam Hidja. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at Divinfi, and I get the honor and the privilege to share some awesome information with you. If this is the first time you've been seeing this information, you're in for a treat. So let's just get right into it. Alrighty. So I'm assuming you can see my screen. So I just want to welcome you all to the biggest launch in history, Divinfi. So before we get into it, I'm going to read this risk disclosure just to make sure that the lawyers are happy. And so past performance is not indicative of future results. Diversification does not eliminate the risk of loss. And the information provided is reliable, but it is not guaranteed. And it is for information purposes only, not investment advice. We're all adults. So whether you decide to join and work with us and invest, just know that nothing is ever guaranteed. We're here just giving you information and you can make that decision for yourself. So let's move on. So what is our vision here at Divinfi? Our vision is to create an ecosystem that brings freedom to 8 billion people on Earth, meaning the entire Earth. So we're essentially recreating these structures around many different things, helping people get financial, time, location, and most importantly, emotional freedom. So let's talk a little bit about Divinfi. We're based here in Dubai. One reason why we chose Dubai is because of the way that it's set up here, right? So I was just watching this documentary about the Sheikh of Dubai, and he just only 50 years ago had a vision, and he wanted to really make it one of the most innovative cities in the world. And at the time in this video, it was a completely barren desert. It was like barely, it was just an outpost in the desert. My mom actually used to live here 40 years ago, and she told me there's nothing really here. I mean, it was better than some places, but it's not what it is today. And in the last 17 years, they've completely developed the city, and all of the world's top people end up moving here because of the infrastructure and the innovative things that they're creating here. And so it aligns perfectly with us as entrepreneurs. And most importantly, they allow us to be on the leading edge of things. There's not a bunch of regulations and whatnot. So it really allows us to do things differently than other places like the US and Canada. So I'm gonna talk to you guys about our products. What do we offer here? So number one, we have income versity. This is exactly what we should have learned in school. These are the wealth secrets that the rich teach that they don't want you to know. And so we put all of these things together into a video library, which are currently being uploaded into the back office. And so it's different things, whether it's how to build a business, how to become tax-free legally, how to be a professional in the network marketing industry, all of the things that you should have learned. And I would equate it to an MBA, right? So people go to school for 4 years, they get their MBA. A lot of my friends that have MBAs are actually just, like, no offense to them, but they're just glorified like assistants or administration, right? And it's like we have things to actually help people get a true MBA, which our version is not a master's of business administration. It is a massive bank account. So helping people break free from the cycle of JOBs, jobs, which just stands for just over broke, just working from paycheck to paycheck, having way too much month at the end of your money, which I've been there, and helping you go from there, shifting from the JOB to being able to create infinite income. And so we have Money Mondays, Wealthy Wednesdays, and then Financial Fridays. We are going to be shifting the time actually because a lot of people are in the US currently that are in the network. And so instead of it being 8 p.m. Dubai time, it's going to be 6 a.m. Dubai time, which I believe is about 7 p.m. PST, 10 p.m. Eastern. So we'll see you there on Monday, tomorrow morning, so or evening for you guys. And so this is our second product. This is our app. It's our Divinfi banking system. So this allows you to spend and send both cryptocurrencies and fiat currencies, meaning the top 45 cryptocurrencies. You can buy them right on the app. You can spend them right on the app. We have the top fiat currencies like the US dollar, the euro, the pound, so on and so forth. And so we have our international banking card. And so you could spend, like I said, your crypto or your fiat anywhere that accepts Visa, which is basically everywhere that has a credit card processor, right? So super cool. We also have virtual cards, so you can get that right away. And it goes anywhere in the world. So if you're in Brazil or if you're in Burkina Faso, it doesn't really matter. We can actually print out these cards and ship them out to you internationally. The only places where you're not able to get a card is actually in for example, like the sanctioned countries like the Russias, the Irans, North Korea, so on and so forth. That's the only places you can't get a card. So, yeah, very cool. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is our licenses that allow us to do this. If you care about the licenses, here are the ones that we actually have that allow us to issue these cards. So super cool. Now our third product is called the Divinfi Swiss Fund. And so, as you can probably tell from the name, it is essentially a hedge fund, which is a fancy way of saying like a company or an entity that has the licensing to be able to actually take on investment and then multiply your money for a return. So these guys are out of Switzerland, of course. And so they've done about 500% return in the last 4 years, which is really, really cool because when you think about the state of the world, and specifically, I'm going to talk about the US economy and the US dollar, which is a very pivotal place for you to look at to see what the rest of the world is doing. Because the US dollar, every other currency is actually pegged to it. So it doesn't matter. It's all pegged to the US dollar. And so when you look at the US dollar, it's been losing about 1% every single month due to inflation. So from June 2023 to June 2024, the amount of, for example, groceries you'd be able to purchase would be about 12% less due to inflation. So your purchasing power is just going down and down and down. And so your savings accounts in your banks are probably the worst place to actually have your money because they're giving you about 1% every single year. So that's not even able to offset 1 month worth of inflation. So what's the solution? The solution is to utilize different investments and to be able to hold the value of your money and then also multiply that money because I was reading this in a book a long time ago. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon. It talks about what you need to do to create wealth. And this is based off of like thousands and thousands of years ago, but it still applies today. And it talks about you need to have your gold coins, aka your money, your dollars, your euros, your pesos, whatever currency you're earning in, you need to have them out into the workforce. You need to have them go out into a battle. They say that you need to have them as little soldiers earning for you. So we have this investment or this fund that's out of Switzerland. Like I said, they did about 500% in 4 years. You can actually utilize this and you can think about it as your savings account. Instead of having in your traditional savings account, you can utilize this. And so how they're able to get these gains is they use a hybrid advantage, which uses both tech and human expertise. And so they're using 40% algorithms, 40% manual trading, and then 20% AI. So let's take a look at their monthly report and some of the gains that they've done in the last 4 years. So they have since April 2024, they did 5.22%. which is absolutely amazing. And then since January 2020, it's 499.56%. It's probably higher than that now. We just haven't updated the report. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. Over 100% per year, which is just next level. And so the cool thing about this is that the minimum investment here was 200,000. So what we did is we put up to 200,000, and then instead of you having to put 200,000 to get these same opportunities to invest with these guys, you can invest a minimum of $500. So it's pretty cool. Now, let's talk a little bit more about our different products. We have our broker service, which we'll talk about here in the next couple of weeks. But what we're going to talk about now is the crypto fund. So the crypto fund is the same thing as a Swiss fund, except it's instead of for the future markets, because that's what the Swiss traders are trading. They trade futures. It doesn't really matter for you. Just know they're doing really well. Here in the crypto fund, they're trading crypto. Very simple. We try to keep it as simple as possible. So the person that's actually trading it is called his name is Josh Willamant, and he's a 25-year young crypto millionaire, but it didn't always start out that way. In fact, in 2020, he was 21 years of age. He took his last 20,000 US dollars and he started to get really into the crypto space, and he planted his last 20,000 into different projects in the AI and the gaming space. And so within a couple of months after the bull market actually started to go to launch, he was able to turn those 20,000 into over $1 million. And since then, he's basically has been able to start managing other larger accounts, including our own. He started this fund in December 2023. And so he came to us and was like, hey, I'm starting this fund. The minimum is 50,000. So we ended up giving him 150,000. So that's how much we trusted him. And since then, since December 2023, he's done over 110 to 120%, which is absolutely amazing. And the way that he's able to get these gains is he just purchases certain coins, like I said, in the AI and the gaming space, and he holds them. So he's not constantly trading, he just holds them. And then once it gets to the top of the market, then he sells them off. And so he's going to be closing this fund at $80,000 Bitcoin. So right now, Bitcoin is consolidating between 68,000 and 71,000. So any day here, it could be closing in maybe a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months. It doesn't really matter. So I would definitely get into that as soon as possible. He's looking to do, he said on a conservative side, anywhere between 500 and 1,000%. So pretty awesome, right? If you put $1,000 into it, 500%, that's 5x your money. You'd get $5,000. If he does 10x, then you'd get 10,000 on $1,000 investment. So really, really cool. The minimum on this is also $500. So very, very reasonable investment. Now, what am I going to talk about is our transformational program, which is really the foundation of everything that we've done here. I got introduced to this guy. His name is Don Smith. He's my mentor. I got introduced to him by Mr. Jamie. It was only a couple of months ago. I'd actually been an entrepreneur since the age of 18. I got into the car exporting business at the age of 18 after leaving my job. And so what ended up happening was I was doing really well with that, but I started, it just kind of got out of hand, right? So I was working 80 hours a week. I was losing my health. My diet consisted of cigarette and Red Bull. I was just really out of shape. Okay. And so what ended up happening was I ended up getting into the network marketing space, doing really, really well. And for the last 12 years, I've had time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom in every aspect. I've traveled to 25 different countries, but there was something missing. There was something extremely missing because I was actually heavily addicted to several substances, including marijuana. I smoked marijuana every single day for 12 years. Addicted to sex, validation, people pleasing, money, travel, all of these things, all of these externally referenced things. And so at the time when Jamie introduced me to Don, I had been having some major panic attacks, anxiety, depression. I remember actually being on the 48th floor of my penthouse in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and contemplating suicide, which is crazy because for the most part, I mean, anyone that's known me, I had been a very, very positive person. So for me to ever get to that point was just ridiculous. And I was married at that point. I was going through a divorce. I ended up going to jail in Bali, Indonesia, which was Reed related, all of these things. And then I ended up meeting Don. And Don had been creating this process and cultivating this process over 44 years. And within 2 hours, Don was able to help me break free of all of my addictions. He was able to help me just get to this level of complete fulfillment. And it was unlike anything that I had ever done, and I'd done 10 plus years of personal development, reading thousands of books and audiobooks. I'd done workshops and seminars, transformational workshops. I had done breath work, certified breath work. I was coaching other people. And even with all of that, I still had all of this BS, right? And so within 2 hours doing this work with Don, it completely shifted everything for me. And so Don has only really worked with the elite of the elite for the last however many years. He's worked with billionaires. He's worked with several athletes in 15 different sports. He's worked with the guys that created the BlackBerry, and they paid him over, some people paid him over $1 million. A lot of people have paid him over 125,000 for a group session. So he's only worked at the top of the top people. And so recently we brought him on as our chief divinity officer. So that way we can give our community the best of the best. It's unlike anything you've ever experienced. I know that because I've done it all. And it was better than anything that I've ever experienced. It was different than anything I've ever experienced. And I'll tell you a little bit more about this here in the next slide. So how this works. So our natural state is called enlightenment. If you could see here at the very top, this scale actually was out of a book called Power versus Force by it was written by Dr. David Robert Hawkins. So, excuse me. So Dr. Hawkins, he says that every single emotion operates on a level of consciousness. Okay. So if you see at the very bottom, there's shame. It operates at a level 20, guilt 30, fear 100, pride 175, courage 200. Whoops. And then enlightenment 700 to 1,000. So for me personally, I was at the level of desire 125, which is why I had all of the addictions. Well, what Don does is he helps you go to the very first moment where you created the self-sabotaging toxic pattern, which is most of the time before the age of 7, all the way to whenever you were in your mother's womb. So mine was actually in my mother's womb. And so he helped me release that very first moment, which is on a neurocellular level. And he helped me get to my natural state, which is enlightenment, which is your natural state, right? And so ever since then, so many things have shifted in my life. I have a traditional business in Dallas, Texas, in my relationships, in my energy, in my just everything. So many things have shifted for the better. And so I'm really excited for you guys to experience this, because if there's one thing that you could get out of this ecosystem, it is being able to step into your most infinite self. And so if you haven't done that, I'll tell you a little bit more here at the end on when you can actually experience this session for yourself. It's just ineffable. And the meaning of ineffable, if you've never heard that word, it's a feeling so great and so extreme that it cannot be put into words. So I'm excited for all of you people that are going to experience this, because it's absolutely incredible. Now, the very next thing I'm going to talk about is the AI crypto trading software, which is a software that uses deep learning capabilities. So it basically gets better and better over time. And so we met this guy at the crypto expo here in Dubai. which is the largest expo in the world. And he had been testing this for, I don't know, maybe since 2017. 2017, he had been testing and developing the software. And so it had been doing anywhere between 20 and 50% returns every single month, an average of about 28%. And actually, we ended up investing into it. And in one day, it did 12% return on a $10,000 account. So that was over $1,200 profit, completely hands-free. Since I think it's been a little bit over 7 days, it's done over 15%. So it's absolutely amazing how technology is able to help us create more freedom in our lives. And so we're excited to get you guys on this one. It's still we're figuring out the onboarding system right now. So just bear with us, and then we'll get you access to this product as well very, very soon. Now, this is my favorite part because this is what shifted everything for me, as far as like financially. And so, like I told you guys not that long ago, maybe 10 minutes ago, that I was in the car exporting business and I was working 80 hours a week. I was always on autotrader.com and cars.com and Craigslist, and I was constantly trying to find deals because I would buy the cars and then I would sell them to buyers in different markets like Dubai and Saudi Arabia and Africa and the Dominican Republic and Cambodia and all of these different markets. And so um, I was just getting really, really tired because I was like, there had to be a better way. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just be constantly working 80 hours a week. I was 18, and I'm pretty sure my metabolic health is probably as someone that was 40. My health was going down the drain. I was literally drinking Red Bull and fucking freaking cigarettes all the time, eating super unhealthy, not sleeping, working so much. And I mean, I made a lot of money, especially at 18 years of age. I made my first six figures in that industry, but I wasn't happy. And then pretty shortly, I ended up meeting someone that showed me this networking thing, which completely shifted things for me. And the guy actually told me, he's like, I want you to imagine that you owned a toll booth. And every single time someone went through that toll booth, you got paid. And so that's an example of this networking system. And so in this networking model, in the multi-level marketing model, you have an infinite income potential. As much money as you want to earn, you can earn in this model, which is absolutely amazing. Number two, there is the weekly residual income here. And so residual income is absolutely powerful, right? It doesn't matter where you are in the world, whether you're on a beach, whether you're traveling, whether you're with your family or your friends, whether you were hanging out yesterday for Father's Day with your children or your family, it doesn't matter. If you're at the gym, if you're using the bathroom, you can get paid. And so to me, that was absolutely amazing. And so I'll give you an example. Imagine your favorite artist. Maybe it's Drake or maybe it's Michael Jackson or whoever, right? So they go to the studio or went to the studio in Michael Jackson's case one time. They create a song one time and then they post that song on iTunes one time, but every single time someone purchases that song, they got paid over and over and over and over again. And so that's how this works. You do the work one time and you get paid for it over and over and over again. And so this is something that you just have to experience. It'll just shift everything for you. And it's like it's crazy because I've done the work for the last over 12 years in different models, and even to this day, some work that I've done 2, 3 years ago still pays me. Like yesterday, I got paid like multiple times. So I'll show you how that happens because a lot of people that are watching this are like, I don't get how that can work for me. I'm only used to working a job and getting paid for the hours I work. So just stay tuned. I'll show you the plan here shortly. Now, the cool thing about this program and this industry in general is that there are no qualifications or experiences needed. It doesn't matter if you went to Yale or if you went to jail. Okay. And I've been to jail a couple of times for dumb stuff. Uh, and so we also grew up poor, right? I'm a first generation Palestinian American. I came to the States at a year and a half. my dad, we lived in Alabama. We lived in a trailer home that was $200 for rent every single month. There was bullet holes in there. I mean, I was not the smartest when it came to school. I was always sleeping. At one point, I was really addicted to alcohol, and I was drinking alcohol probably 3 to 4 times a day, and my blood alcohol levels were probably higher than my GPA at one point. So, it's just crazy. And then I didn't finish college. I did not finish college. I did 2 years. My second year, I ended up just walking out of the class because I asked my business teacher, because I was doing international business and marketing, which the only way I was even able to be in that class was by being on some ADHD medication, which is crazy to me. I just wasn't interested. And I asked her like how much she earned, and she said that she was making $50,000 a year. But in my mind, I'm like, I want to make $50,000 a month, and so I'm like, I can't learn that from you. And then eventually, I started surrounding myself around the right mentorship and the information that really showed me how to live a life like that. And so the last aspect of this is that there are some team building incentives. So you're in business for yourself here, but you're not in business by yourself. You have a whole team to support you on your journey to freedom. So we have some awesome bonuses, which I'll be sharing with you today. And then, like I said, you're not just joining a company, you're joining a community, which is dedicated to your success and to helping you be empowered. And we are in pre-launch. So what does that mean? It means that you're in the best timing possible to be a part of this company, because when it comes to business, it's all about timing, 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 timing. Imagine if you got started with Apple and you invested in their stock before they became a multi-trillion-dollar company. Where would you be? So that's exactly where you are here at Divinfi. And so we're going to teach you how to be an entrepreneur, how to have a big business with leverage, and also an investor, because there are 4 ways that you can earn income in general, right? So you could be an employee trading your time for money. You work 8 hours, you get paid 8 hours. You could be self-employed like I was, which is buying cars. You have a little bit more, independence, but you still have to put effort in to get paid. So those are the first 2 ways: being employed or being self-employed. Now, what we want to do is we want to shift from being an employee or self-employed to becoming a big business owner and investor. So we showed you some investment products where you can have your money work for you. Now I'm going to talk to you about how to become a big business owner with leverage, because this is the only path to financial freedom. And like I said, so there's 2 types of people. The 95% of people which utilize active income, these are the employees, these are the self-employed people, and then there's the 5% which use and get paid off of passive income. So this is having a big business with leverage, having systems in place, and then also being an investor. So I'm going to show you our plan, which allows you to have big businesses with leverage. But what the cool thing is that there are not as much overhead as a traditional big business. So you can think about Mr. Bill Gates, right? Everybody on this call, everybody viewing this call has 24 hours in the day, just like Bill Gates, just as all of his employees. And so the reason why Bill Gates is a billionaire, but all of his employees are thousandaires, is because Bill Gates has 100,000 employees. He has 100,000 people in his system, and each one of those people have 24 hours in the day. And so because they're in his system, he gets paid off of their efforts and time, right? So they all have 24 hours times 100,000. Bill Gates doesn't only have 24 hours, he's leveraging the efforts and the time of 240,000 man hours. So I'm going to show you how you can have the same kind of system, but without all of the overhead, all of the millions of dollars in overhead that people like Bill Gates have. So really cool. Maybe you've been in MLM in the past. We created something different. So it's putting the whole plan on the blockchain. So this is going to ensure transparency, security, and fairness. And so this allows manipulation, or prevents manipulation, I'm sorry. It's also going to create accurate tracking and rewarding of efforts. And so what's cool is that we're going to use smart contracts. If you don't know what that is, it doesn't really matter right now. but we are going to have it to where it automatically pays you out just as soon as you bring someone to the ecosystem. So it's going to reduce administrative burden. It's going to eliminate human error and fraud. And in fact, we're going to be replacing all of the corporate executives, including myself, including Jamie, the CEO, with AI. So that way we can focus on the important stuff like connecting with people and doing the creative stuff. So it's also going to allow secure and fair downline management. So no one can ever move your team and your network to somewhere else, which has been something that's happened many times in the industry. So it's a permanent recording of downline relationships on the blockchain. So that makes sure that you get your rightful rewards, right? So just an overview, the benefits are transparency, security, efficiency, integrity, and trust. And so let's get into how you can actually create leverage in your life and in your business, and you can get paid as a big business owner without all of the overhead. So, excuse me, 1 second. So it doesn't matter what business you're building, you're always creating a network of clients, right? And just to kind of give you a bird's eye view on what I mean, we are constantly referring people to things that we care about or we get excited about, right? So at one point, in Facebook, whenever they first were launching, what did they do? They had people share their link to get them started in Facebook. So we were growing that network, that Facebook network, right? But the thing is that Mark Zuckerberg never paid us to share with other people to grow the network. But that's exactly Facebook's business model. They have a whole network of billions of people, and then now they are able to market their services to them, and then they get paid. Facebook is a multi-billion-dollar company, but we never got paid off of that. So what we did here, and that's what all network marketing is just sharing all of the profits with people like you and I. So we actually share the profits together instead of the company owning the majority of the profits, right? So instead of having billboards or running ads or whatever, we just have other people like you and I share it with other people, and now we share in the profits. Very simple. So you're going to have two teams. That's the way that this works. You're going to have your left team, and then you have your right team. The goal is to actually have a certain amount of volume in each one of your teams so you can unlock different. You can think of it as almost like a salary, but it's not a salary because it's based off of the work that you've done. And if you do it right the first time, you will continue to get paid for it over and over and over again. So it's super cool. So the first thing you got to know is that for every single person that you invite, you're going to earn yourself $50 one-time bonus. So let's say, so if you see this column right here, it says PE stands for personally enrolled per leg. Leg just means team. So you have your left team and you have your right team. So you need one personally enrolled on your left team, one personally enrolled on your right team. Okay, so to hit inviter, you need two on your left, one on your right. So let's say I bring you into this business and then you bring in two. You put one on your left, meaning let's say it's your mom, one on your right, that's your dad. Now I'm going to continue to build this business. So let's say I put because there's only two legs, I put somebody on one of your legs, one of your teams. Now, since you brought in two, I put one on your team. Now you hit this first rank. So not only do you get $50 per person, which is $100, now you're going to get paid $25 a week, $100 a month. So in that, let's say you did this in your first month, you brought those two. Total, you have two on your left, one on your right. You're getting paid 50 plus 50, that's 100. Now $25 a week, that's $200 that you've made in your first month. Pretty cool. Or maybe it's in your first day. It just depends on how fast you want to run. Now the second rank is called Connector 200. You only still need one on your left, one on your right. But let's say you teach them how to do exactly what you've done. Now you have four on your left, four on your right. You got a little raise. You're getting paid $50 per week, which is $200 a month. Awesome. Now, this is the cool thing. We actually give you a one-time bonus once you hit this rank of $200. So not only are you getting paid $50 per week, but you also got a bonus of 200 one time. Pretty freaking cool. So you got paid the 200, which is paid out weekly, and then you get a one-time bonus of $200 as well. If you did that in your first month or even in your first day or whatever, that's an extra $400 in however long. Let's say 1 month, 400 extra. Pretty cool. Now, same thing. You only need one on your left that you personally brought in, one on your right. You teach those people how to duplicate, how to do the exact same thing. Now you have 10 people on your left, 10 people on your right. You're going to get paid $125 a week, which is $500 a month. Plus, we're going to give you a one-time bonus of $500. So let's say you did this in your first month or in your first day. Doesn't really matter. You're going to get paid. That's $1,000 extra that you just brought in for your income. Pretty freaking cool. I actually did this even while having all my executive work plus my other business. I was able to do this within a few days. So it's very doable. Now, same thing, one on your left, one on your right, the same two people, right? Let's say it was your mom, your dad. You continue to show them how to do it, and they show their team how to bring in their two. Eventually, once you had 20 on your left, 20 on your right, that's a weekly payout of $225 a week, $900 a month. Same thing. When you get to this rank, we're going to give you a one-time bonus of $900. That's pretty freaking exciting, considering a lot of people barely get paid this, especially when you look at the rest of the outside world other than the US and Canada. This is like crazy money, right? So let's say you did this in your first month or in your first day, doesn't really matter. Once again, you got paid $1,800, right? Because you get your payout weekly plus a one-time bonus of $900. Pretty freaking sweet. Now, connect to 1,500. The only thing that changes here is that you need to bring in another two. So let's say it was your mom and your dad. Now you're just going to bring in your brother and your sister. You have two on your left, two on your right that you personally enrolled. And then you're just going to continue to do and duplicate what you did here down. Once you have 40 on your left, 40 on your right, you're getting paid $375 a week, $1,500 a month. And once you hold this position for 2 months, so you have to do this 2 months in a row, meaning you have to have these 40 paying customers on your left, 40 paying customers on your right. You'll earn yourself an extra $1,500 a month. Pretty cool. So our COO, his name is Will. He was living in the Philippines, and he was building a company similar to this when he met Jamie. And so he actually was getting paid $300 a month as a customer service agent. And within 3 months, what ended up happening is he brought in a few people, I think it was 3 or 4 people, and then he had 40 on his left, 40 on his right, and then he 5x his income. He went from $300 a month to $1,500 a month. So he definitely quit his job after that. Okay, so pretty cool. Same thing. Two on your left, two on your right, 75 on your left, 75 on your right. So these are your personally enrolled. This is how much need to be duplicated into. And so once you get to this level of 75 paying customers on your left team, 75 customers on your right team, you get paid $750 a week, which is $3,000 a month. Pretty awesome. So you have to, once you hold this for 2 months, you get paid an extra one-time bonus of $3,000. So that's pretty nuts because I don't remember the last time when I was working a job that my boss just gave me a $3,000 bonus. I mean, it's never happened actually. So networker 5K, same thing. Two personally enrolled on your left, two personally enrolled on your right. Once you have 200 on your left team, 200 on your right team, you're getting paid $1,250 per week. Once you hold this for 2 months, you get paid an extra $5,000 bonus one time. So pretty cool. Like I said, the same thing all the way through. Instead of two, now you need 3 on each leg, and instead of 3, you could need 4 here, and then 5 and 5, which is pretty easy. I've personally already brought in like 16 people, so I'm like basically good. And if I could do it, you could definitely do it. I mean, like I said, I told you about my past. So, um, so what's cool here is that you get another $9,000 one-time bonus, 15,000 bonus, $25,000 bonus, $100,000 bonus one time as well, on top of whatever you're earning per week. And so just to give you a little bit of an example, so because a lot of you might be like, dude, I don't know if I could do this. I'll give you an example of why I know for a fact that you can. So when I was building 7, 8 years ago, a different company, we were actually selling like these bottles. It's like a glass bottle. It's full of blueberry juice. And it was not that exciting of a product, to be honest, but I was excited about the business model. And so I ended up introducing this to one of my friends. Her name was Tiffany. At the time, she was 21 years of age and she was working as a waitress. Okay. And she was earning $2,000 a month. And so Tiffany was an introvert, similar to myself. I'm actually naturally an introvert. And so Tiffany, she didn't know she could do this. She thought it was going to be difficult. And so I told her, all you need to do, Tiffany, is get plugged into the system. And systems stand for saving you some time, energy, and money. And I was like, all you need to do is plug into the system and invite people to view this information, just like this presentation that you're viewing right now. And then we just educate them. And then if they want to do it, then you'll get the reward, Tiffany. And so she said, okay, that's simple. I can invite. So she started to invite to Zoom calls and to what is it called? Like Starbucks meetings. We would meet at Starbucks every single day. And we would just show the plan. We would show the plan and show the plan and show the plan. And pretty soon after 3 months, Tiffany went from earning less than $2,000 a month to earning herself over $15,000 every single month. And she never did a single presentation. She actually never did a single presentation until about 9 months into the business. Because I was like, dude, you're making way too much money. We need you to start duplicating this and start to present this. Same thing for her mom. Her mom was working at a warehouse. She started earning over $10,000 a month. Her uncle barely came from Vietnam not that long ago, and he was working at Chase Bank. He ended up earning over $10,000 every single month. So if they could do it, you on this call, you viewing this information can 100% do it. And so there are some other ranks, $250,000 a month, 500, 750, $1 million a month. And same thing here, you're going to get a one-time bonus of 250, 500, 750, and then a million. Only thing is for this rank right here, it's going to be paid out in 6 months. So it's a little bit under 200,000 per month extra that you get as a bonus. So we have a couple more ranks, 2 million a month, 4 million a month. So it doesn't really matter where you see yourself. It's just how much money do you personally need to become free? Is it $5,000 a month? Is it $9,000 a month? Is it 50? How much do you need to be free? Let's get that money thing out of the way. Let's get that money conversation out of the way because money isn't everything, but it's right there up with oxygen. So let's get that out of the way so you can start to focus on the things that actually truly matter so you can do what your mission is. For us, our actual mission is to help raise the consciousness of the entire planet, which we'll talk about that later, but we understand that if you have a high level of consciousness without the money, it sucks. And then vice versa. I was experiencing that myself where I had all the time in the world, all the finances in the world. I had all of these things going for me, location freedom, all these things, but my consciousness wasn't there. So we understand that it's both the consciousness aspect and the currency together. So let's talk about it. So what do you get in this membership? So number one, you get the Swiss fund. The minimum is 200,000, so we value this at $200,000. Crypto fund, the minimum is 50,000, so we value this at 50,000. The international debit card for both crypto and fiat, we value this at 2,500 because of the way that it's set up. You can use this anywhere in the world. You get cash back on your purchases. You're able to use both crypto and fiat. And we have some other really cool things that are also a part of that. We'll talk about that later. Now you get the AI crypto trading software. which is the minimum is $100,000. So we value that 100,000 in Conversity. We value this at the lowest price of what it would take to acquire an MBA. And Dawn's transformation, which I told you that some people have paid over $1 million for that transformation. And what it's done for me, I just think this is priceless personally. So the total value of the membership is $407,500. You're not going to pay $407,500. You're going to pay only $149 one time plus $99 a month, which is absolutely astonishing. The fact that you're getting all of this plus more. We're going to constantly keep bringing as much value to this community, this ecosystem as possible for only $99 a month, which is just crazy to think about. So Divinfi is more than just a financial system. It's a movement towards financial freedom and personal empowerment. So please don't miss your chance to be a part of the biggest launch in history. If you want to join us, get back to the person that invited you to this call, and we'll see you on the other side. Before I end this call, I just want to share a couple of things. If I'll tell you what one of my mentors told me, because whenever he gave me an opportunity that I was looking for, I wasn't in the best financial position to be able to invest. Okay. And this is something I heard even a couple of years after I met him. I said, the only way to get to financial freedom and to be able to invest into things, like, for example, the crypto fund or whatever, is by investing. You have to invest into the knowledge, the mentorship, the community to help you acquire more knowledge so you can actually start to invest into other things that are going to create you more financial freedom. But what my mentor told me, which really gave me a slap to the face, not going to lie, was that he's like, "Hey, Sam, are you ready to get started?" And at the time, it was about $600 plus tax, maybe 650 or something like that, to get started in that opportunity. And I told him, like, look, like, I really do see the vision. I just don't have the extra money to be able to get started. I only had $200 in my bank account because I lost everything. And so he's like, "Well, how long have you had that problem, Sam?" And I said, "Well, it's been a while, a few months, maybe a year." And he's like, "Well, what you need to do," he's like, "if you never want this to be a problem again," he's like, "you need to stop doing what you've always done. You need to stop using your thinking and start to borrow someone else's thinking if you want to get different results, because your thinking has gotten you the results that you currently have." He's like, "So you need to get rid of that thinking of what you think you need to do and borrow my thinking and start to look for solutions rather than problems." He's like, "I know you have $200 in your bank account, but what kind of solutions can you think of so that way you can never have this problem ever again?" He's like, "All you need to do is dig yourself in a little bit more of a hole so you can finally climb out and never have this financial issue ever again." And I'm so glad that I did, because actually what I ended up doing is I borrowed the money from the girl I was dating at the time. It definitely hurt my pride, but I'm so glad I did, because after getting the money from her within 3 days, I ended up getting enough money to pay her back. And I mean that relationship didn't last, but it was exactly what I needed at the time, so I can finally get out of that hole I was in. And so if you're in a place where you can't afford $99 a month, you have to take a look at, why do I still have this problem, and how can I find a solution, right? Like, I've had people with investments way, 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 way more go and get a loan. I remember this one girl, she ended up going to Walmart, buying some water bottles, selling them on the street. So it's just all about a matter of stop looking at problems, start looking for solutions. So anyways, I don't want to write too much. We do have some exciting prizes that we're going to be giving away for some people. So we have a promotion. We're going to push the date because the merchant isn't 100% ready. It'll be ready tomorrow. But if you get 30 directs, 30 direct sponsors, so if you refer 30 people directly to the ecosystem, you're going to get a brand new MacBook. If you refer 20 directly, you get a brand new iPhone. And if you refer 10 directs, you get a GoPro. So that's our first promotion. Now, the second promotion is if you hit connector 1500, and it doesn't matter how many directs you get, if you just hit it now, like even if it's off of spillover, you'll get 3 days, 2 night stay at the hotel that we're going to be having our event at on September the 15th. It might be might be September 16th or 17th because we just want to give you guys a full 90 days from when the promotion starts. And if you hit connector 3000, you get an all-inclusive flight, you get the hotel, and you get VIP access to the events for every single person that hits connector 3000. So I'm really excited for that. I'm excited to meet you all in person, be able to shake your hands and just mastermind together. If you want to be a part of Dawn's transformation, if you're already in the system, for new clients, I've never done it. It's going to be every single Tuesday. It's going to be at 5 a.m. Dubai time. And for all existing clients that have already done it, it'll be on Thursday, same time, 5 a.m. Dubai time. And if you want to stay connected with us on social media, go ahead and scan this QR code, and you'll be able to stay connected on all the different platforms, whether it's YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, Telegram. So thank you so much for watching this. Like I said, if you are ready to get started, give back to the person that invited you to this call, and we'll see you on the